Hi there, Joshua Green here from Empowered Homes. I wanted to make a short video today walking through some of the details of a typical utility bill, just so people can get an understanding of what all the different numbers mean, not just the final number of how much that you're being charged for that month, because there's a lot of useful information on the bill to help you understand how much energy you're actually consuming, seeing if you're making progress, if you're doing different activities to save on energy. So I thought I would just quickly walk through some of the different sections, and yeah, hopefully it will be of value to some customers. Okay, so here is your typical Newfoundland Power electricity bill. As you can see, I have an electronic copy here, and hopefully you guys are on paperless billing, as it cuts down on the amount of paper used. And it's just super convenient to have everything digital and sent to you by email. So I recommend going ahead and signing up for that service. So you can see up here at the top, basically you'll have your name and your address for where the service is. Your rate is a domestic service, which is most of what our customers have. And then it shows you two dates. The date that your meter was actually read on for this specific bill, and then it also just gives you an indication of when or roughly when your next meter reading will be. So you can see here, this is a bill where the meter was read on June 26th, the next meter reading about a month away, July 27th. As well, you'll see our account number up here and the actual date that the bill was provided to you. Okay, so next we'll look at this large block here. So I kind of like to think of it in about three different blocks here. So the first one is displaying what your previous balance was, what your previous payment was, and what your balance going forward is. So you can see that we had a previous balance of $23 or credit of $23. Because we're on an EPP, that we had a payment of $350, and our going forward balance is a credit of $373. So that shows you what your balance was prior to this bill. So the next section down here shows you what your actual electric charges were for this billing period. So you can see that you have a basic customer charge of $15.68. So this is a flat rate that you will always receive every month to be connected to the grid, regardless of how much electricity that you used. It's your basic customer charge. So the next line item here is your energy charge, or how much electricity did you actually use. So you can see here, for this billing period, we used 1,602 kilowatt hours. And then it tells you at what rate, so 11.178 cents per kilowatt hour. So then if you multiply the amount of kilowatt hours that you were charged by the rate, you'll end up with a figure for how much you're actually being charged for that specific amount of electricity. So $179.07 for those 1,602 kilowatt hours. So the next line item is a discount of 1.5%. So this is if you pay your bill before the discount date, they'll give you 1.5% back on these two rates here of roughly $3. It's not huge, but it is 1.5%, so we'll take it. And so then it subtotals all of these electric charges, so your basic monthly charge plus your energy charge minus your discount, and that's a total of $192. So then the next section, I kind of think of all of this stuff is related to how much taxes is being applied to your subtotal. So you can see here, this was charged at 13% taxes, $25. But what we have been getting for the longest time has been a residential energy rebate of 8%. So that's a credit that we were getting back. Essentially, it was the province's portion of the harmonized sales tax. So that's no longer going to be going forward as of July 1st. So this line item won't be there on bills going forward. So you'll only see the full 13% harmonized sales tax which I guess is scheduled to go up to 15% starting January 1st. So then you can see your total charge for the month, $201.42. Now we're on an equal payment plan here, so you can see based on our plan start date, which I'll get to in a second, our charge was, or our payment was $348. So then what it does is it takes our balance that we had going forward for the bill, which was a credit of $378, minus the $348 charge, and we're still left with a $25 credit going forward. So on the next bill, this is what you'll see up here. We'll have going forward a credit of $25. So that's the main portion of it, this large block here, but there's lots of great information over in the side here, which you should always be paying attention to. So here you have your equal payment plan status. So you can see the plan start date September 2014, and you have your actual usage to date. So $3,651.23. So that is essentially the total of all previous bills since the start plan of this number here. So your total charge from all of the previous months added together, that's what your actual usage is. Second number, EPP charges to date, is how much that you've actually paid in through your equal payment plan. And then your deferred balance is essentially your actual usage minus the EPP charges. And that's how much is a deferred balance, which will essentially get settled up at the end of the year. So the next block here talks about your actual meter reading. So you can see here your meter number and also the 2 dates on which your meter were read and what the actual meter reading was. So these were actual readings. I'm sure many of you are aware that sometimes, depending on if the meter reader can't access the meter, you'll get an estimated reading. Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys are aware, but if you have a location where you're frequently getting estimated readers, you can actually submit your own readings online through the Newfoundland Power website, just so that if you would like to, instead of getting estimates and you would like to have actual readings come up on your bills, you can use that service and read the meter yourself and submit it online, which is super convenient. Anyway, so you can see here, this was our meter reading last, so that this one is the one last year, May 26th. It was 52,435, and then the meter reading for this bill, June 26th, and there's the new reading. So it just shows you the delta, how many days was in this billing period, and the number of kilowatt hours that was consumed. So this 1602, this is what we were charged for over here. So this part down here is also super useful, where it shows you your past energy usage, and essentially it shows you this month compared to the same month last year. So for this month, like we said, 1602 kilowatt hours, and if you look at the same month last year, we used 1689. Now, you can't just compare those directly because it depends on how many billing days are actually in the period. That's why it's very convenient to talk about kilowatt hours per day. And you can, and many of you have seen in our videos or charts where we're always talking about kilowatt hours per day, because that gives a good reflection of how efficient your house was. So for this month, there was 31 compared to last year, same period, it was only 29. So when you take this number and divide it by the number of days in that billing period, you'll get your kilowatt hours per day. So this year we were 52, last year we were 58. So we're doing better than we were last year.